All right, ready? Are you
Yep.
ready? Oh, Giga, how you doing? It's been a while. It's been 3 weeks. I know we had to change the schedule. We're now recording live, on Sunday nights because Joey has changed his job, and more to come on me in a couple months to see what's up. But he finally saw Ghostbusters Afterlife, so we're gonna talk about that spoilers, and we're also going to talk about what was the other thing?
Well, we want to discuss the Spider-Man trailer
Yes.
and
The
the
Spider.
various trailers that came before it, which was we'll get to it though. It was kind of weird though how they came out.
Really? All right, let's get into it. What'd you like about it, or what you hate about it, or what's
No, I don't hate it because I mean it looked like they're really trying to keep it a secret, but
oh yeah,
we all seen the weird meme of Lizard getting punched in the face
or
in in
kicked?
in that trailer. Though there's like they're not showing like who hit him because it looks like they digitally removed the whatever hit him. But I mean we kind of know,
We
who
know.
punched him in the face. It's just that's the thing. And but yeah, I enjoyed it and I feel like it's getting to the heart of to what Spider-Man's really about. Like there was I I think there's gonna be some like some deep dark moments that's gonna pop up, and I mean it's been already spoken about by Tom that it says it's probably one of the darkest from the Spider-Man films. So let's see how they execute this.
It'll
Because I
be
mean,
interesting if they do any like flashbacks on like Toby Spider Man or Andrew
yeah,
Spider Man.
no, there you go. You told me something that I hated, but I didn't hate it. More is like it left me in a moment. And I think it was when Doctor Strange says that everyone that has died fighting Spider-Man has come back. Sandman didn't
Yeah,
die; he disappeared.
Sandman
He
and the
left,
Lizard.
and the lizard. So that
Yeah,
kind of threw me off.
yeah, I know. It's probably gonna be a surprise to them, in the movie where it's like, wait, but he didn't die,
Yeah,
or maybe I don't know. Maybe they're doing like an alternative thing to
and the
the unit.
two remember, and also they showed two Green Goblins.
Yeah, it's
The
true.
first one were Willem Dafoe, and the other one that James Franco turned out to be. And
I thought it wasn't him. I thought it was the one from Amazing Spider-Man. But I also heard but I also saw a photo that's the suit that gets updated and upgraded for William Dafoe, Norman Osborn's Green
mm,
Goblin. So I don't know, but it could also be for I forgot the guy that did Harry in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Um his suit, or it could be Ned. But Ned, when he turns into Hobgoblin, it's really the yellow or orangey and blue and type of thing. So
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe yeah, it'll be different. But
What I noticed is that the colors started changing, especially in Doctor Octopus's tentacles.
so
Uh,
that's an
uh,
armor upgrade from Tony Stark, I think. Either when his things grab Spider-Man, either the nanobots go to the arms, or it's a upgrade somehow when they're fighting. It
that
could be
is
Tony
true
thing.
because
Yeah.
the scene where he is plunged into the like under the bridge, you
Yeah.
notice that the mask comes on onto his chest.
Yeah.
So probably some of the nanites probably did end up on the tentacles at some point, and only a few of it. So he was only able to move certain parts of it on his body, which is probably possible. And that's probably genius.
There was a hint. I feel like it would be like Doctor Octopus. Having that storyline where Doctor Octopus is inside Spider Man's head and basically being him, becoming Superior Spider Man. That would be really cool and interesting. Um, but I don't know.
The thing also is that yet they died fighting Spider-Man in the previous, but the thing is that Dr. Octopus finds a way to redeem himself at the end
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
sacrifices himself to save Peter and Mary Jane.
So
Technically,
was
he didn't die fighting Spider-Man. He died sacrificing himself. I feel like there's that. I hope that doesn't stay in the film or something gets fixed, because I'm looking back at all the films. A lot of things didn't really, like, I would understand Green Goblin. I would
yeah.
understand Willem Dafoe. He did die
Yeah.
fighting him. And I would love to see in I don't know, it was on was it on Amazing Spider-Man? I think it was on Spectacular Amazing Spider-Man when Green Goblin finally revealed himself that he was still alive, and he finally told, in a comic book, he told Peter Parker that Ben Riley was the actual clone. So Ben Riley ended up getting killed, and then Green Goblin ended up Norman
I think
ended up
the
revealing himself, and then when he ripped off his shirt,
yeah.
the mark of the freaking of the glider was on his chest. I would love to see that. Like if he ends up like ripping his chest
Yeah,
and
that
say,
would be cool. That would
just to
be
see
interesting.
like just to see Willem Dafoe get pissed off at like that in that meeting scene that he has. You have seen what I've sacrificed, just to have him see, look what you've done, Peter. Just something like that in his chest. It just shows it like a scar in his chest. That would be cool. Like
You
they
also
just
heard
came
his
back from the dead.
yeah.
Like that would be cool.
You also heard his monologue. I think it was like oh, and it kind of like you know how the Joker has these lines for Batman, and it's
Yeah.
really great on like m- making Batman and Gotham kind of unique and just one. Because when you think of Gotham, you think immediately of the Batman. When you think of New York City and Marvel, you think of Spider-Man. So
Yeah.
he says the city, it can either make you or like you're part of it. I forgot what the hell the line was, but it's like it can make you Spider-Man, or they can hate you at the same time, something like that. And I was just like, wow, Green Goblin is really like the Joker for Batman.
Mm. Yeah, I always felt like he's the
Just,
main person.
yeah,
Yeah, I always felt like he was. I used to talk about Carnage being that, but no, Carnage is more like
Carnage is like, yes, he is a psycho killer, but it's not.
yeah.
It does. You only have Maximum Carnage, and what's the other goddamn comic that he was in? I
Yeah,
remember.
he doesn't come off as much as the Joker in Batman and how Green Goblin is
Yeah,
in Spider-Man,
yeah,
because
yeah.
he makes his life a freaking living hell, and that's even when Harry became Green Goblin, it was still making his life a living hell. It was what was it? Wasn't in that Deadpool, where was it Harry that was it Norman that was making his life a living hell, and Deadpool was like, yeah, I'll take care of it. And he give him a kiss in the forehead, and he put on the Spider-Man mask. So he was like, when I kill him, I'll take off the mask so they won't think it's you. I think it was.
Oh,
I think he went to go after Green Goblin because he was making his life a living hell.
I don't remember that comic.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know why it's
yeah, no,
escaping me.
I agree with you, because Green Goblin has been like behind the scenes, ended up killing his beloved girlfriend. And it's crazy that even I was reading up on a short story when Gwen Stacy came back to life, and Mary Jane didn't want to tell Peter, but she knew. And she was like, I know she was the love of your life. I should have told you. And it's weird hearing that from the woman that you're like supposedly married to, that your love of your life is like hanging around town.
That's interesting. That's weird as hell.
I think it was I know the artist Mike Diodato. He ended up posting it because he was just showing the artwork of that
Yeah.
particular scene, and I was reading up on it, and it was kind of it was kind of difficult to read the lines, but you could tell like he was. It was so they were hiding. Gwen Stacy was sort of hiding around and stuff like that, and Peter Parker didn't even know until Mary Jane ended up telling him.
You know, it's interesting that they were doing the shot for shot of like MJ falling just like Gwen Stacy does, and that I think it was like Brooklyn Bridge or something like that. But then, um, yeah, I was just like, Andrew's gonna save her, and he's gonna be like, not this time, or he can't lose you, or something like that, and it's just gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna be in theaters like, damn right, and then it's just gonna
No,
probably do a flashback, or if not, that's fine.
like
That'd be
something
cool.
happens that he doesn't get to her, like when he dives, and then
Yeah.
he ends up like going after her.
You know what
Yeah,
I just thought of? And imagine this happening because it would be iconic. And I think I think we've seen Toby, we've seen Tom, I think we saw Andrew, where their mask is like torn off and it's just half.
yeah,
Imagine at the end when it's the climax and they're just like getting up because they're the Spider-Man, right? They're
yeah.
getting up and their mask is like torn up and they're just like, no, I could do this all day, something like that. Oh man, that would be fucking iconic. Oh Jesus, dude, this is like, I don't know if this is the second Endgame wave, Infinity Wave for Marvel, but it's up there, definitely up there.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those things. I don't in this trailer I didn't like that much of Doctor Strange, sort of the way he was coming off a little bit.
Yeah, he's becoming douchey, but but it's like, you know what? They're going back to like that Doctor Strange from the movie, his own movie, and like kind of bringing those elements back because yeah, he kind of was a dick in like Infinity War, but kind of weren't really focused on him because you were focused on the big battles and like what the hell is Thanos doing? What the hell is his children are doing? And where are they gonna go with this? And then you don't even remember him in Endgame. He just comes at the end and he just does this and that's it. Yeah.
like for example, when he comes on, it says because you botched a spell, all this is happening, and I was like, who botched the spell? I'm sorry, but there was no. Spider-Man didn't have any hand movements or whatsoever. You just didn't concentrate enough to do what you would have to do. I felt like something was up there. I just didn't make any sense. How does the spell work in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Doesn't you do the spell in the cast? He wasn't really saying any chance. He was just solely interrupting Doctor Strange about the
Yeah.
situation, which I think it could be understood, but it's like you're blaming him for a spell that you were casting when you were told not to cast a spell.
He's projecting. All right, this bitch
Yeah,
is projecting. He's
but he was
projecting.
always projecting. Even in the
Oh,
first film,
oh
I
yeah,
felt like he was
100%.
blaming shit on everybody.
I don't know who's a bigger jerk in like Iron Man, Tony in his first movie or Doctor Strange in his first movie.
I mean, he was
Honestly.
more sympathetic in What If.
Yeah. His
Yeah,
what if counterpart was more sympathetic than this guy.
yeah. I preferred his What If counterpart.
Oh,
He
hell yeah.
was, yeah.
I'd prefer his evil side than this guy.
It's,
His evil what if.
I just
Um
the thing is that I want to know if they'll what if. I'm hoping that somehow some of those characters somehow manage to find itself
that'd
out.
be cool. Yeah.
You know,
They can bring back that Killmonger and it would be insane. And like, the knowledge that he has in that universe, and you bring it to this universe and just do like a live action thing with him. I don't know.
question is if he's frozen in time right now,
Yeah.
would his Killmonger story keep going?
I don't think
Would it even matter for Shuri to even talk to Pepper Potts about the situation if he
no.
was just taken
No, I don't
out
even
of the
think
equation?
I don't think he would even come back to that universe that he was owning, in his story.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. but I think he would like to take advantage of a place where maybe T'Challa isn't there. That would be interesting. I don't. Yeah, I think that would
Okay,
be cool.
so what else was to be seen? Well, Mobius trailer. Uh,
I forgot. It's funny because I texted you. I was like, when is that Mobius thing coming out? And then all of a sudden, like a week later, it just drops, and I'm
yeah,
just
it
like,
came
wow.
around with the Venom trailer, which was like, oh, this is what they're finally sort of revealing that, and then they finally show Michael Keaton's Vulture,
Yeah,
which just recently in an interview he says he's filming Vulture stuff.
I don't
So
know.
I don't know what that means because it's like I don't. Wait a second. Which one? Yes. The Multiverse of Madness right now is filming all over again
Oh yeah.
for new shots. They're saying that they're going to be filming till the end of the year. Uh, uh um they're going to be filming to the 6 days a week for the end of the entire year. I believe that's what they said. But yeah, they're going to be filming new shots for the end of the to the end of the year. So we're going to probably see new stuff that wasn't supposed to, I
Probably
guess.
they just thought of and said, hey, you know what? Why don't we just do this?
I
Let's
think it's
let's
because
let's use some
I have a
actors.
feeling it's probably because of Spider-Man. I think something if they did there, they were like, I think we're gonna have to change something up.
Maybe it was the
Something,
contracts, with like Sony and stuff, because I know that Sony with the Spider-Man trailer really, really wanted to put out Andrew and Toby. And I think that's what they did with this trailer is that they kind of, you know, they knew what they're doing. They know what they're doing with this trailer. They were like, you know what? They're going to catch this because all eyes are on this fucking trailer. That's what they did with that's why they didn't cut when Lizard gets kicked in midair.
mm,
You know?
yeah,
And Marvel was like, no, let's hold it back. Even though there's so many leaks. Imagine the feeling right now if you were not robbed of finding out about Toby and Andrew being in this, and like like being super heavily rumored. Finding out about William Dafoe and Melina coming back in like that teaser trailer, because
yeah,
they were gonna come back right before the trailer, like months before. But imagine before it got leaked and just that feeling. Oh my god! And they're not doing that much advertisement. They just post. They even the posters look so bad. It looks like they're reusing the same posters from before.
yeah, yeah. I think they're trying not to really bring it out. I think
It's
Kevin
just word to
Feige
mouth
has
right
like a
now.
freak. Kevin Feige has like a shotgun right now on Sony's head. Like, yeah, just you can only use these things. And you did a bad editing job there. Fix that. I see
They
lizards
did that
getting
on
punched in the
purpose.
side of the head because
Yeah.
now it's gonna have people thinking, and all this is gonna be posted out, but they're not really revealing as seeing the villains enough is like, oh, this is definitely you have to see,
It was
and
yeah.
whether you know Charlie Cox comes in or let's see
Yeah, we
because
got a couple people that were rumored to be in this and we haven't even seen them in the trailer. So, I mean, to see big stars, that's going to be insane. I think, and there was a theory, is a long shot theory in the end of at the end of the trailer where they're at the Statue of Liberty and they were saying because the multiverse is starting to open, what if we see an X-Men, because that's what they did in the first movie. They fought in the Statue of Liberty place, and that's where everybody was fighting. And I was like, that would be cool if like just one of them pops up. Just wearing
yeah,
the leather suit with the X on it.
yeah, I have a feeling that these portals are not going to close and they're going to do massive damage, and I think that's going to lead all the way to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I
I
think
think at the end, I don't think that shit's going to close.
I
I
don't
think
th- I think that this Spider-Man Tom Holland that he's playing, I think he gets sucked into the multiverse.
Mm.
And I think that that would be really cool because if this is a heartbreaking thing, they save MJ, but he gets sucked. And the only way to save him, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Because Wanda's messing with that now. The multiverse opened because of Sylvie.
Yeah.
Wanda is looking for her kids. The portal opens at the same time that Wanda finds out about her kids. And then
Yeah, there's been way
I don't know, man.
really a lot of possibilities and stuff that it's weird because right now it's Doctor Strange screwing up with the multiverse, and then we're seeing what's in Loki, what Sylvie did. So it's like, what are we following? Are these who's really screwing up the multiverse? What's really like happening? It's weird because I know that Khan said like, you kill me, it's gonna, things are gonna start to happen.
Yeah.
and and then we have what Doctor Strange did in this one. So it's like, which one are we following on well, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yeah.
Because that looks like, because if both of them are happening at the same time, that's massive repercussions. That's a can of worms right there.
I don't
And
know.
we still missing a lot of other freaking characters, which, funny, in another thing, somebody said something, I don't know what video I was watching, they were talking about the Fantastic Four is actually stuck somewhere in sort of a negative zone and will somehow manage to get out of it. And that's how we're going to see the Fantastic Four at some point. But I don't know, because they could say, like, Reed has been around for a very long time. Something happened and he somehow disappeared. Because even
they
that
can say that and say, yeah, Reed Richards bought this. It was going to be the Baxter building when they went up to space. They can have that in like a Black Panther movie, and or if they want to set it up in the future and say like, yeah, there was a spaceship that went, and I think it was owned by Baxter, but something happened in a wormhole, or like in one of those news outlets, and you just read it.
yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be fucking cool. And then it's just like, oh, it comes back after like a little bit. That would be interesting, yeah. Because I know they get their powers when they're in space, and I forget what the thing was called. Cosmic something. I don't remember.
Yeah, because I don't think that it doesn't have to be such a major thing. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, all the stories that have been going on were a bit crazy. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, when in the middle of people were already living their lives during the 5 years in between of the snap and when people were brought back. During those 5 years, things could have happened.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
it could have been Reed
100%.
Richards and Sue Storm. They could have been out. They could have actually survived the snap and went to space. Something happened in that entire, mess while everything was going on. So it's like, let's see how they bring the story up.
Yeah,
Because I
sorry.
mean, we already seen origin stories, and it's,
Get to the point.
maybe we could just get out of that, because
Yeah,
we already got out of, we didn't have to see Peter Parker lose his uncle a whole bunch of times.
right.
We don't have to, we don't
See
have to see
the
the Fantastic
Fantastic
Four go in
Four.
space and whatever, though
Or
I never knew the origin of Doctor Doom. Like, what happened to him? What caused it? Was he one? I don't know if he was one of the people in that ship as
Yeah,
well.
I think he was one of the people that was in that ship in the original movie. I don't
Now
know in the
I have to
comics.
read it. I have to read it. I have to read that first issue. I have to find out like what the hell did Doctor Doom come from? Which is
Um, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I gotta check that out.
Um, I don't know. This trailer was a lot. It gave me a lot of theories on what can happen, and I'm really mad about the Funko Pop that came out when we saw Spider-Man with the black suit and the gauntlet of source
Yeah.
whatever the hell Doctor Strange gives him. But I'm pretty sure it's to imprison the villains that come out of that multiverse of thing.
Mm.
Two things. I love, by the way, what they did with Electro. 100%. That
Oh
suit
no,
looks
yeah.
so much better than what the hell they gave him in that freaking Amazing Spider-Man 2 CGI thing, where it just made him blue. Stupid. I didn't like it. They gave him like that face mask. Not the face mask. They used the electricity to give him that mask. I was like, yeah, it's fucking.
I wonder
Um,
why they're different though. Like what changed him? Because I mean, that's a freaking crazy change from blue to you're you're black again. You know,
did he have hair when he was blue?
no, he was
Hmm.
bold. He was completely blue, bold, and like with bluish eyes and whatever. He's completely blue with
Maybe he
a black
concentrated his
bodysuit.
electricity.
But it's a bit weird, as if I
And they gave
think
him
when
like
they
a different
enter,
voice too.
yeah, and like if when he entered the multiverse, they all enter the multiverse. They start to slowly change. Like I
Maybe,
wouldn't be
yeah.
surprised if Green Goblin at some point will start having the purple, suit, like the purple color that he has instead of all green.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Be cool. And there was something else. I forgot. Can't remember.
And another thing, I want to know how they're gonna execute Venom coming in, because
End credit scene. 100%. That's an end
no,
credit scene.
yeah, I think yeah, it's got to be end
Oh,
credit scene.
oh, I got you. It's Toby, because we've seen him with the symbiote, says, "Hey," and when he's getting warped back into his reality or his dimension or
Yeah,
whatever, he's like, "And watch out for the black suit or the symbiote. Watch." And just,
yeah,
any advice? Yeah, just watch out for the. And he's a
yeah,
black, and then it's like just crawling or something like that. That'd be cool if Tom Holland stays in his Earth. But yeah.
yeah.
Um,
It's gonna be one of those things where I'm wondering how they're gonna do that, because Venom in the end credit scene in Venom 2, when he looks at the screen, he says this guy,
yeah,
but I think is because he's Spider-Man, not because he's somebody he recognizes. Because if Otto Octavius did not recognize him when the mask comes off, and he's like, "You're not Peter." He saw him in the suit and he thought he was Peter Parker, but he wasn't. He's a Peter Parker from that universe. So I don't think Venom is gonna will recognize him.
no, no.
You know?
Um, but to be honest, that theory was long shot too when that teaser trailer came out,
Yeah.
and Octavius is like, "Hello, Peter," and then everyone's like, "Wait, there's a second Peter Parker in that bridge." And I was like, "No, that's not true." Oh,
Hmm.
there was another thing. Remember when it cuts and says, "Oh, what's your name?" Doctor Octopus, and they were laughing.
Yeah.
It kind of did. Somebody said that those scenes didn't match because it looks like he's in like a cave kind of thing, and they
Yeah.
look like they're in a what's it called, construction place.
Yeah.
So what if they were saying like, oh, what if they're meeting Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and saying I'm Spider-Man? They're like, you're funny, you're funny. Like, no, that's not true. He's like, no, I am, and then he takes off his suit. That would be cool as fuck. That would be cool. I don't know. Just so many theories on like that trailer, man. It just makes you think like,
Yeah,
what are they
because
gonna
it's
do and to pull it off?
they have to edit in a way that we are gassed to believe that these, Toby and Andrew is not in the film,
Right?
or that certain scenes are only Tom Holland is fighting them. So that's what Marvel does. They try to gas us up. It's like when they did the Infinity War, and then you see Hulk in the background when they're running through the forest, like
Yeah.
do 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 do, and you find out that he never turned into the Hulk throughout the entire film. So it's Marvel pulling the strings, adding dialogue or taking away dialogue, or seeing characters that were not there and say, oh, we just CGI'd Lizard here, and or the Sandman or something.
And if they are gonna have a Sinister Six, who's the sixth person?
Because all we know, remember, though we say it's Sandman, but that's the exact same thing we felt when we saw the second film. We thought one of them was Sandman, was going to be Sandman, and it was just Mysterio using the machines. So I wouldn't be surprised. Besides, I don't think even Mysterio even died, but they're accusing him of murder, which is weird.
Oh my
But
god. What if these projectors are still Mysterio?
hmm, uh, I don't think they're gonna want to use the same villain all over. I mean, making the Sinister Six, I understand, yes, but
Oh, that's true, you're right, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, we're
And
still
it's funny
missing
because
one.
he knew about the multiverse too.
We're still missing one member, so it's
Could
we
it be
only have five.
Vulture? Could it be
Yeah, I know Vulture. It could be, um, but there was no talk yet about that. Even though
I
he
don't
said he
know.
was filming Vulture stuff, but that's this. He was just said this recently, and the film is going to come out next month.
Yeah, so that's just no way.
Let's see.
I
Let's
don't know.
see who's
Let's
the
see.
who's the who's the. I don't want it to be Venom to be the sixth one. I
No,
feel
I think
Venom
it's too
is a
soon.
character that needs to be on its own. Venom
Yeah.
can take care of his own self. He doesn't need lackeys or these characters. Besides, they're all supervillains. Venom is like kind of like Punisher. It's he has that heart of gold, but he'll be willing to kill to protect.
Yeah.
And I don't think that he would see Spider-Man as a threat.
Um
Because from the looks of it, they're all looking for their Spider-Mans.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because when Dr. Octopus came, he's like, "You're not Peter." He cocked back and looked like, "No, that's not you." Because he was probably looking for Toby's
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Did you watch Eternals by the way?
No, I never got to see Eternals.
Okay. Okay. It's beautiful. Um it's interesting storytelling. A lot of biblical messages. Super mixed. I think it's a really mixed um and divided opinions about the movie. Like this is like the Last Jedi type of like opinions.
Yeah,
Because that's where like people divided on like they hate it or they like it. Plain and simple. And we can all
yeah,
agree like some movies are like bad or some movies are like really good and some of them are just haters. But like this is like divided. I don't think it needed to be that long, but the end credit scenes are crazy. So yeah,
mm.
yeah. All I'm gonna say, can't say no more. I'm pretty sure you already seen it if you haven't seen it. But I'm telling you, you probably seen the end credit scenes.
No, actually, no. I just know about Harry
One,
Styles' character, but that's about
yes.
it.
So, anyways, moving on. Now we should get
Oh,
back and
yeah, I did. Now I
uh,
remember. Yeah, that's
yeah.
strange though. It's a little strange.
It's a strange
The
Why they
funny
would
thing
do
is
that?
that the director admitted who that voice was
Oh,
in
I
an
mean,
interview.
you can hear it, and you're like, oh yeah, that's him.
Yeah, of course. But then she also admitted it, so it was like, oh, okay, cool. But then how does that fit into um the Black Knight? Because I'm like thinking like,
He cared more about the Avengers that were like, he was there, but he wasn't there. There, you know, he wasn't important as much as other characters were. But
yeah.
for that character to be with that character, I don't know. But in the movie theater, when I was at the end, I was watching it, and I was like, I heard his voice, and I was like, no way. And people, I felt it. I felt the presence of people not understanding who that was. And I was like, no way. And I felt 20, 30 eyes on me because they're like, who the fuck is that? Who's talking? And everyone's like, I just can't believe they did that. I can't believe. And I walked out of there like, I can't believe they did that.
I mean, you know,
And it was
like when
funny
I
because I
heard it,
texted you. Well, hold on. I texted you and
when
I was
I
like,
yeah,
damn, I want to see this character right now. All of a sudden, boom.
when I heard it, I was like, I mean, how can you not know? In some way, how can you not know? He has that
Voice.
that voice and that presence. You know,
Yeah.
even Wesley Snipes had that presence,
Yeah.
and you know when he spoke. So it was like hearing him talk. When I heard him talk, it was like it's like yep, that's the only black person that I know that you know that the only character that's like sounds like that. He's just like he's got to be. It's got to be Blade. You know.
Yeah.
And then the director would somehow I don't it was weird that she sort of admitted it.
Yeah.
I think it was one of Kevin, it had to have been like Kevin Feige to be like, yeah, you could tell them. I mean, we
Yeah.
already know that he is already going to
Good.
have his film. It's we know who it is. You know, it's like just mention it, go throw it out there, and they'll give people probably more excited to go see Blade now,
Yeah. Yeah.
knowing
Yeah.
that his voice is finally being revealed into it. But again, I don't know how Black Knight fits in, and it's just weird to see Mahershala Ali team up with Kit Harington. It's like a weird mixture to me. But it's like,
they're
but
doing
it's like
something.
it's like but it's like, but it's like the Eternals. They're all like a certain type of different people working
Yeah.
together. You got this beautiful Mexican woman, Salma Hayek, and then you have, you know, Angelina Jolie, and you got Kumai Nanjiani, and you have like these races together, like, and it felt like
Oh, and it was
this is
so.
different from. I feel like it's a little different, you
It's
know.
different, but they
Yeah.
all felt like they were together for years. They knew each other, and I was just like, oh my god, it was. I don't know, their acting, the way that they talked to each other, it just felt like it came so natural. Um, and that's what I really liked about it. A lot of people didn't like it. It's just all the diversity crap that you just see, and it's just like it's
But
you're
it was
starting to
like
see
that. Even
really.
if you open like the few first pages, I was, when I go to Barnes and Nobles, usually I check out the books and stuff like that, and I saw like the Eternals. I think it was it Neil Gaiman's Eternals? I don't think it was Neil Gaiman's, but it was like one that had like the origin of the Eternals or whatever. It's like and looking through it is almost like you're not going to it's a story on its own. Like you're not going to expect Thor to come out in the middle of it, or
Right.
Silver Surfer, or anything galactic. It's like it was his own. It was like its own personal storyline. Like it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
his own thing. It's like New Gods, but it's like the Marvel version of it. And it was also done by the same Adam Kubert who created Darkseid, also created Thanos, and he was the artist for Eternals when they first popped up. So like once you go through it, it's like very historical. It starts talking about, it really reveals like the creation of the planet and the you know, the celestials and all that stuff. So it's like, you know, it's sort of like Eternals is a brief history of what Marvel Cinematic Universe is. You know, we finally getting history. We're going
Yeah.
way back.
Yeah, we really
You know,
are. And that's literally what like people kind of forgot while watching this movie because it gave you that lore and it focused a lot on Neil Gaiman's runs on the Eternals. That's what I really liked about it because it's like this is like for MC for comic readers that are so heavy on like oh I know that you know they're book smart comics comic book readers and this is like a movie for them and like beautiful to see too, beautiful effects, beautiful visuals, obviously. And just like the cinematography, when the camera is on certain characters, it just felt like you were there, and it just made an impact on how they were and how they moved around. Especially like Icarus flying around and Angelina Jolie's character just fighting, and what's I forgot the girl that runs really fast. And by the way, they really shitted on this movie. The character really just took a whole crap on Quicksilver.
Mm.
The fighting scene at the end, Quicksilver is no match. It was just good. This is good. Yeah. I have nothing but love for that movie. It was really good. Would I rewatch it again?
It's funny.
In a couple months.
The amount of viewer or talking, a lot of people talking nonsense about it. I was like, I want to see it. I want to. It feels like it needs to be seen because this is sort of the intro to how the Marvel universe was created, and we getting more brief history, getting more of a history of that. And I think we need to see more about the outside because we're always on Earth. We only get to see the outside of it, like through Guardians of the Galaxy or right now with Eternals, we're getting to see the outside of it, occasionally Thor, but still it feels like we're not really leaving the area. We're still on Earth half the time.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah, most of the characters are on Earth. Great. But I would, I want to see more of that, the outside. And I think Fantastic Four, when the comic books in the Fantastic Four, it was opening doors to a lot more characters. Fantastic Four was, I think, issue 46, 47? Might be wrong, or 36, 37. Might be wrong. Then, it introduced Adam Warlock. Fantastic Four introduced Black Panther. It introduced the Inhumans. So it's like, it's we're finally starting to slowly get all these characters out, and we're starting to see like the massive scale of the Marvel Cinematic Universe outside of what's happening on Earth.
Yeah, even though it's on Earth.
Yeah. I want to see the birth of Thanos. Like, I want to see a flashback of how Thanos was born.
We might get that with Arrows if he sticks around.
I would love to see that.
I don't really know much about Arrows, to be honest.
To freaking kill him in his own freaking sleep, and
yeah,
yeah. But I'm, we might or we might not get it because it seems like it's, it's like a linear. They don't want to give. We're not going to get a lot of side stories unless we get shows,
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't mind I wouldn't mind to see a show on what happened on Titan, on his planet. Like, to see how beautiful it was and how the people were running, and then all of a sudden he went ape shit and all the things were destroyed. Just to see it doesn't have to be like seasons. It could be a great whole, actually most of the seasons there is like 6, 7, 8 only like 8 episodes probably. So, but I would love to see like a whole history of like when Titan and them growing and Eternals and all that stuff, and seeing Thanos grow up and have, Josh Brolin come back. That'd be great to see.
Yeah, that would be great to see. Yeah, that would be cool. They could do that in animated form. I mean, look at all the things that were dropped on Disney Day Plus, Is he date?
Yeah,
Yeah,
She-Hulk,
like She-Hulk.
She-Hulk,
Oh, so we
Moon
might
Knight.
get the answer of what happens of why Bruce Banner resorted back to being Bruce Banner instead of Professor Hulk. Um, we are going to see the freshman year of Spider-Man and how he became Spider-Man in his few days in animated form. The 97 freaking TV show is getting not a reboot. I think it's a continuation of the X-Men, which is going to
Yeah.
be great. A lot of people are saying it's a reboot. I don't know if it's a reboot or a continuation. I heard it was a continuation.
Yeah, I
I
heard it
don't
was
know.
a continuation.
Oh, I don't know why people are saying that, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I forgot what else we're getting.
Moon Knight.
Oh, the Moon Knight trailer or like clips of what they did. I really want to see the suit. It kind of looked nice when he was punching. It gave me a lot of vibes of Daredevil when he's just punching and punching. That was interesting. Yeah, Secret Invasion. Nick Fury looks crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy scary.
everybody's talking about that he was probably a scroll all
You
along
know, there
throughout
was
the
a
entire series.
theory that when he got shot in the Winter Soldier, and then we see him later on, and he's like, kind of like, I can't walk. I was shot. My arm is
Yeah,
broken and all that stuff. And then you see him later on in the movie, and he's like walking fine, and everyone's like, "Nah, that's a scroll."
yeah, but we also remember was it Captain Marvel when he was in space over there chilling?
No, but that's him. That's an actual like that's him. So he was a scroll the whole time. So that was a scroll
Yeah,
the whole
like he
time
was
when he was
off
playing.
world. He was like you saying that he was off world while on Earth there was a scroll and
So when
taking
he
his
was
place.
shot, and then he met and then Captain America and Natasha found out that he was still alive. That was him. But then when he leaves into the helicopter and stuff, that wasn't him. That was a scroll. So he went up to space after that. So he was recovering, I think. I could be wrong, but
Because
that's
I
a
mean
good
we
theory.
ended up getting the scroll in Spider-Man No Way. No, was it Spider-Man Far From Home?
Far from home, yeah.
Revealed at the end that he was a scroll.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is also, I mean, there's bad and there's evil scrolls, of course, and but we still haven't really seen them. We were seeing more of the Krees being the evil people, and the scrolls being the ones that were trying to survive and trying
Right.
not to get killed and all that stuff. So that we need to see that view, that perspective of their evil, the evil scrolls.
So I think the Super
I
Scroll. Hold on, I
one
think the Super Scroll was the one that fought Red Guardian. Then
I can't wait I want to see Super Scroll. I want to see where they're going at with that.
I just thought of that theory. If they're doing the Secret Invasion, they could tie it back. Oh yeah. Hey, we just came up with a nice theory there, boys. Yeah. Anyways, we got to get to Ghostbusters. We're like 48 minutes in. Bro.
All right,
All right, hold on. So I go and see the movie at Comic-Con, and it was amazing. The feeling, everybody was so happy to see it. A couple minutes in, and I was like, "Ooh, what are we getting? What did you think about it?" Because I enjoyed it. It was funny.
My God,
and Paul Rudd plays Paul Rudd. Listen. Hold on. Before you start. When you see an actor like Will Smith played Will Smith now, he just plays Will Smith.
Yeah.
What's the Keanu Reeves plays Keanu Reeves. Morgan Freeman plays Morgan Freeman. Paul Rudd plays Paul Rudd now. He's Paul Rudd everywhere.
Yeah.
What do you think of the movie?
I love Paul Rudd in the film. It was fun to watch, of course. But the kids, oh man, especially
Help me, not the kids, man. The little kid podcast.
Oh, podcast was I was like, when I saw him, I was like, he's the Dan Aykroyd of the group. He felt like Dan Aykroyd. Like he was very into aliens and secret societies and things like that. And even in real life, Dan Aykroyd is like that, because he even had a show that he's very into the occult in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So, most of his personality was put into the Ghostbusters back in '84, and so when I saw this kid, I was like, oh, he's definitely the Dan Aykroyd, and I could see like how they both bounce off from each other. What was her name? Sophie?
Sophie. Yeah.
Or was it
Sophie.
Phoebe?
Oh, Phoebe.
So it's like they were bouncing off each other. It was like how Ray and Spangler, bounce off each other in the Ghostbusters. They were always throwing knowledge into each other and sort of like saying random stupid things and things like that. But there was like they complimented each other when they hung out more than how Bill Murray, which felt more like he didn't feel like the Bill Murray, but I could see like he had to deal with it and stuff. So it felt like this new group is like the ones that our next generation of kids have to grow up and see. But it was like very emotional. They were all top notch, and I felt for Phoebe's character at all the time. Like she would have killed that cop if she would have shot the freaking proton pack in his face.
Hell yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, she just realized if you destroyed half the town, what makes you think he's going to survive that shot if you shoot him? It was just like, I was like in shock, like, oh man, she would have killed him. But it felt like she was protecting her family. Like she was protecting the name of her father, of her grandfather. And it was like, it was so beautiful, like just to see her, like her pain and how she was getting frustrated with all this nonsense. Even got frustrated with her mom and stuff like that. And it was so good. And that ending, oh my god, I literally was like,
wait, before we get to the ending, so in the movie, it's centered around one place. I forgot where it was. North Dakota?
It's Oklahoma.
It's always in Oklahoma nowadays, huh? You got a lot of Tulsa and you got a lot of Oklahoma City.
One thing I loved was that they brought the old story back of Gozer into it. And, the Keymaster. And I knew right away when Paul Rudd was getting chased by the dog, I was like, he's the Keymaster, and obviously their mom is gonna be the freaking what was it? The Keymaster, and what was it, the other one? Oh,
I don't remember. But then they started doing it right in the freaking Zeds.
I knew right away it was her that was gonna, Gatekeeper. There you go, the Gatekeeper. So I was like, I knew right away. I was like, this is what's gonna happen. They're gonna end up like that. And it was so funny because when this kid podcast was like, yeah, I gotta turn into dogs, and I went boinking. And it was like, what? And I was like, and he's just like chilling, like nothing happened. Like he just didn't say a word. Like he's just
bro, I love that kid, bro. I'm telling you, when he was doing that interview, he was doing it like a professional. Like that man was acting for 20 years and knew how to say everything like that. Like advert everything. The way that they acted on stage, I was like, why are they acting so weird? And then when you see the movie, it's like, I see what they were trying to do. They were trying to give us their characters and feel us out. That way, when we saw the movie, it felt natural. And I was like, that's bloody genius of what they did. Oh man, but I'm telling you, podcast was one of my favorites in that movie. Paul Rudd played Paul Rudd, but he was funny. And they did so many. What was your favorite homage that what they did?
Oh man,
little mushrooms, the little what's it called? Marshmallow Man, the mini ones.
Stave Puff, Marshmallow.
Dude, when
Of
he goes
course,
into
when
the
they did
blender, when he goes into the blender, and then they go like and then they press the button, and you're like, no, don't do
yeah.
it. Oh my
Oh man,
god.
and the whole like going to like seeing and everything was like, oh my god, I felt like a kid again watching the original Ghostbusters, and then
Yeah.
all these little things and his his wrapper inside his jacket, those little things, and I was like, it was so cool that they ended up bringing him out as a spirit that was sort of trying to like kind of like trying to get things,
I wanted to cry.
protecting him. And I was like, oh man, it was just so sad because knowing that he died, the actor died in 2014, and they were sort of still using him as a spirit, the guiding the new generation. And it was just so sad. And then that big reveal at the end that was like, I mean,
Great. It
they did
just
like they didn't even have to do that. They could have just left that beginning of like being in the shadows and us knowing like, oh, that's Spangler. They didn't have to bring a ghost or that sort of like CGI effect to reveal that he was there and that was him. But it was still like, it was so sad because, and then thinking about it, it was like, wow, this guy died in 2014 and they felt the need to add him into the story as a spirit, as a ghost himself, to sort of like protect them. And it was it was funny as hell when he ends up being next to them and Winston is like looking to the side.
yeah.
And then Bill Murray's character, I think, was like, yeah, I knew you would, at some point you was gonna come back. Like it was
It was honestly it was so sad, but it made you smile type of moment. And it gave you it, and the ghost never said anything. And it's like you can say so much without saying nothing.
yeah.
And that's really like what they focused on. And I was like, that's beautiful from what I saw and I got. And I was
My
just like,
and
I
then
wanted to cry.
another reference from the first film was when she comes on, she says, "Are you a god?" And they were like looking at Dan Aykroyd as Ray. I like, it's like, yes, yes, I'm a god. Because last time in the first film, he said he wasn't a god, and all of a sudden they all got shocked and almost
Yeah.
thrown off the roof. So it was like he had to lie then, and it was just so funny. And you could tell like Bakeman was still straight up the same Bakeman. Like he was just talking his ass off, trying to say, "Yo, we can't work. We should have been working together. You have your personality. I have my, being smart and all this stuff." And all of a sudden, you see Winston trying to pick up the freaking proton pack and shoot her. And I was like, "Oh, we tried," you know. But you see, like Ray, like literally looking at him, like all while he's talking, like so much to Gozer. And it was Olivia Wilde.
Yeah.
And when I
Yeah.
looked at her, it's like Olivia Wilde, but I didn't need. It was funny because not a lot of stuff was really spoken about her being in the film or
Yeah.
making a cameo and stuff like that. And believe it or not, and this is funny as hell. And Josh Gad was Muncher, that freaking green Slimer thing.
Josh Gad is who?
He plays
Guess.
Olaf.
Oh, wow, that's
I was like, what the
funny.
hell? And it's like, I mean, it's funny because it's like, I didn't hear Josh
Yeah.
Gad's voice or anything like that. So what was he really? But yeah, I got Josh Gad was when I saw the credits, I was like, what is he doing there? And it
Oh,
said
okay. I didn't
Josh
I didn't
Gad.
I didn't catch
So,
that.
oh man, it was just so heartbreaking. And then like the mother finally seeing that when she saw the photos and everything and how she was like secretly watching her and just writing things down. Like this part is like she has more freckles on her face at this
Yeah.
now and things like that. Like he kept notes and he cared about her, and I could see like why he was protecting everyone and keeping the freaking monsters at bay, because it was going to be the freaking apocalypse and stuff like that. So, and I love the fact that Ray had the tattoo of the Revelations 6:12, which was pretty interesting. That was I remember when he says right away I started thinking about when Winston and Ray are both in the car in the first film, and he says, "Do you ever wondered if it's the end of the world?" That just like when he starts reading, remember Revelation 16:12, and then Ray says the entire scripture, and then all of a sudden Winston comes on and says, "You say, don't you think that because the dead are rising from the graves is because we are in the end times?" And then that's when Ray is like, let's put on the radio and listen to something happy. It was like getting scary. But then that's throughout that whole time, it was because he was trying to protect,
Everybody.
the world from
Yeah.
Gozer coming out. And then J.K. Simmons was there for like a brief.
Oh yeah. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I was with Andrew. He used to work at where I work at now. And I was like, wait, is that J.K. Simmons? What the fuck is he doing there? I know, I loved it.
I didn't notice him until he turned his head and he was coming to life in the coffin.
I was like, what the fuck?
I was looking and I was like, it's probably some old dude. But then all of a sudden he turns his head when he's coming back to life. And I was like, J.K. Simmons? What? He made a cameo, mad quick cameo, and freaking Olivia Wilde made a quick cameo. And I was like, that's crazy.
That's cool, man.
It was cool though. It was oh man. I want to see it again. I really, and we saw it in 4DX. So the chairs were
nice.
Dude, it was every time the freaking dogs were coming at like the characters, freaking water was spraying in my face.
Oh yeah.
It was like
yo, that was yeah. I think, did we go and see Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah. I remember that at some point one of the pipes started malfunction. It was like and we were like, I was getting up like what like trying to help the lady.
Like, what are you gonna do? It's a tube.
Eventually it stopped, but yeah, it stopped. I remember it because it was in around that scene when he's on the fire skate and he's trying to get the gigabyte chip. And I remember there was that scene. It was like, it wasn't such an important scene, but it was like, thank God we didn't miss like something crazy, because that thing was like loud. Like
that was annoying me.
Oh,
I was like, come on, man, really? Yeah, we're technology, man, technology. But did you say to the end credit scenes?
I only saw when she starts she comes back, Sigourney Weaver's character comes back.
Oh, you didn't stay till the ending?
Oh, there was an ending?
Yeah, I thought I told you.
Why did they do this? Why didn't they just leave it with Marvel? Now they want to do it with everything.
Yeah, okay, so at the end, what the fuck is his name? Dude, I suck at remembering names, and I hate myself for it. Winston buys the fireplace back.
Oh.
And he starts cleaning it up. That's what he does. Because he's a big billionaire now. He took whatever he needed from the Ghostbusters thing, and he bought it. And we see the I think it was like the secretary or something come back too.
Janine Melvitz?
Yeah. And now she's going to be part of it. So I was like, ooh, are we getting the fourth one? Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like it's, oh man, that's crazy. I wanted to go over there too, the fireplace. I didn't know this, but when Harold Ramis died in 2014, they actually put a little small memorial there during his death at the fireplace, in the fireplace where that took place in Ghostbusters. They put like crunch bars there, they put Twinkies, they put candles and everything on respect for Harold Ramis. I was like, I didn't know that, man. I would have loved to have gone over there.
Yeah. It was,
Oh man.
I don't know. Like I said, man, it was a beautiful movie. It was dad and son, and they made a baby. It
Yeah.
was great. It was a
Yeah.
great.
I felt like he really wanted to respect his father, and he really like he grew up watching Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
and he felt like he'd been working on this for a very long time, like to finally bring it out. And I mean, it was supposed to come out like what 2-3 years ago before the pandemic, and it was held back because
I
of
think they
this. So
re-edited some stuff, but I think it was good. It was good. It's funny though if you look at the picture now from the girl that played Phoebe, because I was telling you, she told me well, she didn't tell me. She told us in the panel that like her grandmother didn't notice that she was in the movie. It's like, where's Phoebe? Where's whatever her name is, like Sophie or something like that.
yeah,
Where's Sophie in the movie? I haven't seen her the whole time, and it's like that's me, the one with the little fro. The glasses. She
yeah,
looks completely different after like 2 to 3 years.
yeah. She made a movie with Chris Evans called Gifted.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh, when I saw her there, and I was like, oh man, but she played a hell of a good role. I loved her character, and just how precocious she was. She was just like her grandfather, like saying random stuff that just like,
The
you know,
puns. Did the puns get you? What was
yeah.
it?
And
Uh,
the dumb jokes that she was saying, that which was like, and as if for some reason it was like very cute. As corny as they were very cute. That it was just like her saying these things.
no, it was dark though. It turned dark. I forgot what
Oh, the
pun it
one with
was.
the hamster, and it said, "What's the difference between a hamster and a cigarette?" And it said, "We light it on fire." I forgot what it was.
The, the hamster died.
Yeah,
Something like
something like
that.
that. You just said
Oh
what?
no, the hamster screams or something like that. Oh,
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah. It said, "What's the what was the one with the polar bear?" It said, "Well, if the
something about drowning. No, was it
it's something
drowning?
about it dying," and it's like it won't say anything. Like she was just saying jokes, or the one in the car with the atom. Like it was like, it's like, why can't you trust atoms? It said, because they make up everything. And
Oh
then
yeah,
and
that
he
was
looked at
funny.
her and he was like,
Dude, podcast and her were great. That's a great duo.
oh yeah. Like
I like.
his introduction when he came in, it felt so much like Ray. Like it and when Ray comes to him and speaks to him, I felt like that's sort of like passing him the torch right there. And I said it gets better at 46. Like he said it too. And then when he brought it up, and I was like, oh, that is funny. Like when he was talking about the episodes and stuff like that. So it gets better at 46.
It's good. It's good. It was a good movie. I liked it. I enjoyed
You
it.
know what's
I
funny that they did not that they removed, and you did say about editing, that scene when she was being teased in the classroom, when the kid throws the pop, like the cheese doodles or Cheetos in her face, that they showed in the
forgot
trailer.
about
Yeah, they
that.
didn't put that there.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Now
I
the
think
new
they
trailers they put a lot and put a lot of the things that we saw in the movie, and I was like, that's giving it away.
yeah,
But they didn't really give it away because at the end.
they didn't. I think it was the last trailer that sort of gave it away,
And I like that a lot of people. Yeah.
when she calls the Ray, and he picks up the phone, and that was heartbreaking too, because like when he said, I'm his granddaughter, and I was like, oh, that was like almost broke my heart. And then this dude freaking hangs up the phone, and then he's like, hello, hello, and I was like, oh my gosh, man, I felt so
I
sad.
was like, oh my god, they're not coming.
Yeah,
And I really thought they weren't gonna come because I didn't. I was like, nah, they didn't give you that feeling of like, are they gonna come? No, they really kind of killed it off.
yeah.
And
I knew that they were going to come when I was like, yeah, right now they're losing hope. Like they're like
Well, a
the
lot
freaking
of the
machine.
people that were trying to help were like
Yeah.
Gatekeeper and the other one
Yeah,
and
everybody was getting taken. The
Keymaster.
machine
Yeah.
it wasn't the freaking proton pack wasn't working and all that stuff. And it was genius that he shot the freaking it didn't shot Gozer and he ended up shooting the antennas that were up there. That was genius. He just went and I was like, oh, genius. Everybody was on freaking point. Like they were mad smart. The kids were I felt this was the first time that there's times when there's kids that just make no sense. Like when we saw Godzilla versus King Kong, hated the freaking kids. I felt like they were just not
Waste of
they
time.
shouldn't
They
have
were a
been there.
waste of screen time for
They
me.
were, yeah, exactly. But I felt like they all in here, they felt like they were all using their heads and working things out. Like when the podcast was like, how are we gonna get the proton pack out of the jail cell? And it was like, I got an idea. And then he pressed it and that shit just comes out and eats the damn metal. And I was like, that's genius.
That's
These
smart.
kids were
Yeah.
freaking smart as hell. Everybody was like on point, and it's like you could respect their characters, though. It's like Finn Wolfhard's character. Like at some point it was like, he's not really doing much. He's getting to know the town, and all of a sudden, but right at the end, I feel like he redeemed himself when he realizes, like, oh, we need to shoot that.
Yeah.
That's important. And then all of a sudden, all the freaking things started opening up, and I was like, that was really cool. Oh man,
it was such a good movie.
it was. It just made me want to be like, I want to go back and see the
Yeah,
originals
I
and
kind of want
sort
to
of like,
rewatch it.
yeah, I want to go back and rewatch the originals and kind of like pinpoint like the things that they referenced, and it's like,
Little Easter
there you
eggs.
go, and just to see those things. Oh, it did such a hell of a good job.
This siren kind of like gave me goosebumps again. I was like, the memories.
Yeah, the siren and when the protons packs turn like,
Yeah,
like, and I was like, oh, that's like listening to the lightsaber come out for the first time. And I'm like, when I hearing it, I was like, that's music to my ears. I was right there.
And I really like that they put the old advertisements that they did. That's what I really like too. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'm glad they filmed that too. I'm glad they filmed that. Just in case, you never know,
Yeah.
It's great. And I remember while watching the panel, when they started to turn them on, like those small effects were louder than the movie, because I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to amplify it and you're trying to bring that memory back. It was so good. It was so good. I don't know. Paul Rudd was great too, man. Everybody was great.
Yeah, everybody was great. And it was cool because there wasn't like let's give since Paul Rudd, Ant-Man and all these things, let's give him a big role. Like everybody was on screen just at the right time. No one didn't need more camera work or anything like that. Everybody, it felt like we got a lot of character from all the characters, and it felt nice. Like everybody had their equal part of the characters in it, and it was fun. I enjoyed that because it wasn't like, oh god, more, like we didn't see like, oh my god, more Paul Rudd, like let's see what's going on with the kids. It's like, oh, we got to see equal parts of every single character, and we got to see enough to be like, this is what their personalities are, this is what kind of character they are. So I felt everybody was on, like, oh man, like everybody had their opportunity. Like there was no need for, I think Paul Rudd became the Rick Moranis though, in that there, just because remember Rick Moranis was the one that I forgot, he was the lawyer. He was the one living in the other apartment and always getting locked out.
Yeah.
and I felt like he was like in between, like he was like sort of like, he was a teacher and he was always that silliness. So there was that scene when he was like on the rocks in the stone when she came in with the dress and he had the flower in the head. And then when he starts walking to her, I felt like that was straight like Rick Moranis when he starts knocking at her door and Sigourney Weaver's character's on the sofa. But Like I felt like that's how it was.
It was
And I was
great.
like, it was cool. It was all great.
That scene
I
was so
recommend
cheesy.
I recommend that you all see it. It's wonderful, man.
It's
Oh man.
wonderful.
If you fell in love with the first two films, it was like it was heartbreaking.
The way
Like
they
even with
started it too.
when did they huh?
But the way they started it, because what's the guy's name? The grandfather. I'm really bad with names.
Spangler.
Spangler.
Egon.
When he's going into the house, he's running. It's raining, I think, and then he's trying to press the pedal. He's trying to press the pedal. It's not working. Then he gets the what's it called? The detector, the ghost detector thing, and he
Yes.
is scanning. Then he's like, you know what? I'm not going to be able to win because the pedal's not working. His idea is not working. So he just sits down and then right out
Yeah.
of his chest, and then just yeah.
Yeah. It was really cool because it was I like how I like I knew right away and it was like that makes sense right now, like it's they call it afterlife, and then thinking about it, it's like when it was still on, you could tell like yeah, his spirit is still there. I think
Mhm.
it's gonna be a major thing, like when he was playing chess with her, when he was fixing the car, when he was trying to fix, and all of a sudden the cables start coming together, the light, and how he was pointing at all the things for her to do to fix the proton pack, revealing to his daughter that the photos were there and all that stuff. He was still in spirit, he was there in spirit and showing them, and that was fantastic. I loved every minute of that. Like they did a good job with that.
Yeah, I I enjoyed the movie so much. It was great.
And to be honest, if you think about it, every ghost that we have seen in Ghostbusters and all that were always, well, they weren't always evil. I know that, but they never did any good things in most of
Right.
the thing like that. So it was like very strange that Egon was more of a quiet type, and he wasn't like causing havoc or anything like that. That was a different ghost on its own
Yeah.
from the previous ghost, like all the ghosts we've seen in the first and second film.
I
And
don't
I'm
know.
pretty sure that ghost that appeared in that coffee shop with the like deteriorating and just dying, I was like, isn't that the taxi driver from like the first part, the second part, when the guy goes in the cab and it's him, like a dead body in there just driving? I think it was in the second one.
I gotta rewatch that one. I don't remember that one.
Yeah, and I was like, I think that was a reference to that cab driver.
Okay. Okay. Good eye on that one. I didn't know that. Yeah, I just recommend watching this movie if you have watched the old ones and not the reboot, because this movie just paid homage to a lot of the good stuff that they did. Again, it's Dirk Reitman, right? Or
Uh,
Dick Reitman? Dick Reitman.
I know the father's Ivan.
Oh, Ivan, and then
Jason, yeah.
Jason Reitman. So yeah, yeah, they just created a beautiful baby, and it was just great to see that. The ending really got me. I got I got almost emotional, and it was just really good. Enjoyed it. Everybody did really good. I think podcast, I think, probably stole the show. Paul Rudd is Paul Rudd now. He just plays Paul Rudd. Plays
Yeah.
nothing other than Paul Rudd, and I'm okay with that. I'm fine. I'm fine. And with that being said, I think we're gonna end the podcast here. 100. Now we're in 18 minutes in. Yay! All right. So you could catch us on iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher. Just Geek Mythos Podcast. And we're also on YouTube. I changed the name. It's now Geek Mythos on YouTube. Uh, Twitch, I don't really stream anymore, but I kind of want to because I bought the Guardians of the Galaxy game and I want to play it, but I just haven't had the time because holidays are here and work is going to get more annoying and you know how that is.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
are gonna go work overtime. There's well, on my end is mostly cleaning other people's crap, and
Oh yeah,
well,
100%.
yeah, so it's gonna be tough, but mm,
We'll see how it is. And you can also, I think I said everything, right? iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Stitcher, and SoundCloud, but I'm not really gonna post those anymore because I could only post like a certain amount of minutes in it, and then I have to delete them and then re-upload them. That's a while. But I'll probably post this one. Anyways, catch you in the next one, Geek Gods. Have a good one. We'll probably see you in 2 weeks and see if any news comes out. When is Hawkeye coming out?
this Thanksgiving,
Oh shit!
the
Sweet.
first and second episode.
Ooh. And then the last episode, I think, is also the first day. The last day, the last episode of Hawkeye, I think, is on the 25th. So we're gonna have to choose between watching that or Boba Fett first.
Mm.
So Disney's giving us everything. Oh yeah. Oh
They're
yeah.
just trying to give it to us in the one shot because I mean, there's gonna be 2 episodes, but I think it ends up coming. If we get 2 episodes, I mean, it's not gonna come in until I don't think the next week.
Oh, that
Will it be the
sucks.
next week?
I think so.
Are they going to be together at the same time?
Are
Boba
they
Fett
gonna?
and Hawkeye?
How many episodes is it? 13.
What?
Hawkeye.
I doubt it. It's probably like the same amount as the other ones were.
8.
Hmm?
Yeah, probably 8. I mean, it's a couple weeks, right? Let me see. Let's see. So it's this week. What? 2, 3, 4. Uh, 2, 3, 4,
Then
5,
we got
6
Spider-Man
episodes.
this next month.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a
Yeah.
freaking Marvel week holiday.
And the Matrix comes out too
Oh
in
yeah, oh my
December.
god. Okay, so you got the Matrix, you got
Yeah, but I think the Matrix is
Marvel.
also going to be on HBO Max, so I don't know if I'm going to end up watching it in theaters if it's going to be on HBO Max.
Oh, if it's gonna be on HBO Max, I'm not going to theaters.
No.
I'm trying to save my
I'm
money.
still a little bit iffy with that film. Very, very, very iffy. And I enjoyed the first 3, but it's like it's like you're bringing. It's like
It's kind of like you're giving us a kind of like a what if Matrix.
yeah. It's like if what is Fast and the Furious, like Fast and the Furious, we always get a freaking Fast and the Furious. Like, what if it stopped all of a sudden, and then it felt like it ended, and then all of a sudden, like 4 or 5 years back, somehow they're in there, and I said, why is these characters coming back out again? You know, like I that's how it felt. But I want to know, I want to read about it because I want to see it because the Wachowskis they were talking about it because they were the ones that created the first 3, and I think she was saying that it was reminding her of her parents because they passed away, and I guess this sort of resurrection is sort of like in a way of what if them coming back, so I don't know. My theory in that whole thing and why Keanu Reeves is back and Trinity's back, Neo and Trinity, I feel like they ended up getting killed around the machines ended up bringing them back and bringing them to life. I think they ended up getting taken by the machines, and then they ended up putting them inside the pod and keeping them alive. That's my assumption why they're still around on the Matrix.
How would they do that though?
I don't know, unless they need Neo, because I mean, seriously, it was Neo. When Neo went, well, we're gonna have to do this fast. When Neo went to go after the machine, he went to talk to the machines. He was saying, "We need to stop Smith because Smith is becoming super powerful." Meaning that Smith can go into I think they was able to go to the machines and destroy them. So it was like, we need to stop them. And then he was like, why? The machines were like, why do we need you? I said, fine. Then I guess you don't need any help, and I could just walk away. You could kill me now. and then they realized that they needed Neo to stop Smith. And that's when they sort of made that thing and said, then there's going to be peace. I stop Smith, we stop this war. And then he dies then, you know, holy, you know, thing, crucified and sacrificed himself for the people, Jesus, you know. So pretty much what this is going to be is like what Book of Revelations, Jesus coming back. That's what. So
Yeah.
that's, and then you can see he's rocking the beard and the long hair.
Yeah.
It's sad that I didn't get to see, you know, Lawrence Fishburne coming back, and I'm a little confused about this guy. So
Well, I think that's
it's
his son because apparently that's what they did in the game. Is that the game was the sequel to the third movie, and apparently Morpheus dies, but he had a son. That's what I remember.
I don't know. I
I think it'll be explained to us later on, obviously, but
yeah, at some point.
I was like,
No,
I want
the
Morpheus.
thing is,
back.
I ain't see how Neo is that freaking powerful. Like he could blow houses apart, and I was like, I didn't even see him do that in the end of the freaking film. He wasn't even blowing houses apart. I mean, he was going through buildings and stuff, but I was like, he wasn't blowing houses apart and like
He could fly.
destroying shit. He was just like moving things to the side. And I was like, what the hell? When did he get these abilities? But it's like it's the Matrix, and he could do whatever the hell he pleases.
Yeah. We're in the Matrix, man. We're in here. It's just a matter of time of finding out.
Yeah, I want to know because that's a little bit confusing. The you know there's still agents popping up and all these things.
Oh, yeah, they're like new agents now, yeah?
Hmm.
Anyways, that being said, we're ended right here after all that stuff. See you in the next one, Geekheads. Bye.